Yo, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video on the 1974 Gran Torino Elite. A little bit of TLC, but the main item is going to be resealing the power steering pump. Got a seal kit for like 13 bucks on Amazon, so we'll see how smooth that goes. Also had the power steering hose blow off on it. Now Jen is doing a video on replacing the carpet too, so right now she's in there. We found some rust holes and all that kind of stuff, but I will drop a link to her video when she has it posted. I suppose before we get started though, we'll help Jen finish up in here. Okay, we got that interior all sealed up and she's done working for the night, so let's pull this pump out, see if we can get it rebuilt. You see we get the firewall all sealed up too back there. Had some rust holes and such. Fun never stops with this thing. So easy access, literally 2 bolts to get the pump out and get the hoses off on the back. This one is the guy that popped off the other day. So I actually had done that repair on the trip, and you see I didn't flare the end of the steel line that I cut, and that's why it popped off. So we'll get that hard line off, flare the end, and put this new hose back on. And this pump's just been pissing all over the driveway, so it'll be nice to seal that up. Craftsman Crowfoot came in handy. The pressure hose nut. It's always a good idea to take pictures before you take something apart too. I bet you the main leak is just the there should be an O-ring in between. Just noticed a little bit of damage on the pulley, but it's still pretty true. Ended up cleaning this off with some mineral spirits because it's always a good idea to get the grime and dirt off before cracking something like this open. And I suppose this is a repaint because you can see the drips. I'm sure that wasn't like that from the factory, but who knows? Pop this open now. Let's see, the reservoir should come off. So I think the majority of the leak was coming from this big O-ring here, because this is pretty dry and flattened out. And also, if you got any rust, it starts going into the can here. I could see that on the bottom causing a big leak too. Like this one here would never cause a leak, external leak. And here's a look at the pump. I think the way it works, the oil goes in these, and then, as you can see, bigger cavity here gets scrunched down to no cavity, so it has nowhere else to go except for out this way in the center and out the high pressure outlet. So I mean, that's just a quick. I could be wrong about that, but based on what I'm looking, that's probably how it operates. And of course, we're not doing a full rebuild, so I just want to get all new gaskets and oil seals in it. Great scraping gaskets on cast iron, because you don't have to worry about gouging it up, There we go. The shaft bushing seems to be in good shape. A little bit of damage down in here, but there was no play up and down on the shaft or anything, so it'll be all right. Got the new seal in. And I'm going to lubricate everything with type F, ATF, because a lot of people commented on the first video how you're not supposed to put power steering fluid in these Ford pumps. And I mean, I don't see how it could cause any damage, but course, anytime you're putting new seals in, it's important to inspect the shaft, make sure there's no pitting or deep grooves. This one's got a very slight groove, but if you can catch your fingernail on there without gloves on, then you're gonna have to do something about it usually. Get a sleeve kit or resurface it. Beautiful. Ooh, dirty filter in there. That's the outlet too. Another O-ring on here. Got that screen cleaned up. Oof, this one's very hard. For this large O-ring, I used heavy grease instead of ATF. Slip this into the groove. And you gotta line this notch up with the notch in the casting and drop her on. That's it. Go with some RTV insurance around the threaded part. There's those notches that have to be lined up, and as you can see, I went with the silicone insurance around the entire thing just as an extra measure. So now I can throw the bracket on, and I'm sure a lot of people are saying, why wouldn't you clean this and paint it? Well, you know, the paint just flakes off over time. I think that grime on there has a much more natural look, and it preserves the metal just perfect. No sense in cleaning it. Of course, if we were rebuilding this pump to put it on a parts shelf, then we would definitely paint it, but paint doesn't necessarily make it better. Let that sit overnight, throw it in tomorrow. With the pump back in, now we just have to fix this cooler hose. And like I said, it blew off the hard line there where I had cut it on the trip. So now I got the flaring tool clamped on, and this is a good example of when the low profile old school flaring tool can be much better than the Master Cool set that I'm always shown in videos, because this set is amazing, but you need a larger surface to be able to clamp on. See how deep that is? So if you have a nice long straight line, then you're fine, but if there's a bend right here and only a nipple on the end, kind of like how it is on the Ford over there, then having a block that clamps on that's much thinner, see it's almost like half the width, really comes in handy. Of course, you could just pull the whole line off too, but that line nut was being real stubborn back there, so instead of rounding it off, I figured I'd just flare it in place. And it ain't the prettiest flare ever, but now the hose won't pop off anymore. Nice lip all the way around on there. If you're by yourself, you don't have somebody to top the pump off when you start it, it's best to just start it for a couple seconds and then go top it back off, because if you aerate all that oil, it takes forever to get all the bubbles out. All that oil burn off, and then be good to go. And here's a look at Jen's final carpet install. Check it out, brand new, nice and fresh, no more stink. Gus isn't trying to dig at it anymore, no more Gus hole. We got the vinyl mats in here, and the only thing left to do is drive it. We also put some dye on these carpets on the door, which is still a little bit wet. That's okay. Tap the gas pedal a little bit, the idle should go down. There it is. She's learning carburetors. Still gotta get a new steering wheel cover for this. I've been watching on eBay. What do you think, Gus? This car drive pretty good?
This one?
Yep. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. You're doing good, baby. Are you comfortable driving this car yet?
Not really.
What? Does it feel big or?
It's huge.
She's doing great. What's out there, boy? I don't know, it's scary. Everything's moving so fast. It looks kind of dangerous, actually. Why are we in this jet machine? All I know is Mommy is the best driver ever. So you are in safe hands, Gus. She always keeps both hands on the wheel. She's such a good driver. 10 and 2 right there. And apparently the horn's giving some issues now. That's a brand used horn I put in there. Try it again. What the? Pop the hood. Hit it again. Yeah, I guess the thing's just beat. We gotta do an adjustment on it probably. And I know this was a shorter video, but there's really just not a whole lot left to do on this beauty except to drive and enjoy her. We're gonna try to keep it under the cover, keep that paint looking fresh. Probably do the headliner at some point, but that'll be just bringing it to an upholstery shop and having them do it. So if you want to see Jen's video again, I will drop a link to that down below in the description when she posts it, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And that concludes the series on the 1974 Gran Torino Elite, also known as the Elite in 1975. It's a great car, and we really do enjoy taking it out on the weekends, so we'll probably keep it for, I don't know, a few months, a year, I'm not sure. Enjoy it, and then, yeah, because you can't keep them all, always moving on to new stuff. So again, thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and we will see you in a future video very soon.
Ford Elite. Everywhere you look in Elite, you find the spirit of Thunderbird. In its impressive array of standard equipment, in its richly appointed interiors, there's even the Thunderbird-inspired moonroof, if you like. Elite is designed in the spirit of the times, with mid-size operating economy, steel-belted radial ply tires, and a 26.5-gallon fuel tank. For the tradition of Thunderbird in a mid-size car at a mid-size price, it's Ford Elite. There's nothing quite like it anywhere in the world. The closer you look, the better we look. See for yourself at your local Ford dealer.